How to renew your enrolled agent license. Filling out IRS Form 8554. Brought to you by FunCPE.com. First, you need to get organized. You'll need your P10 number, your enrolled agent license number, any centralized authorization file CIF numbers, and any employer identification numbers. Next, you need to pick your renewal method. You can renew your EA license either by mail or online. The advantage of renewing by mail is you can use a business check or money order to pay for your renewal. The problem is the IRS takes longer to process renewals by mail, often 4 to 6 weeks longer. If you do decide to renew by mail, you can go to google.com and search for Form 8554. The first link is to irs.gov PDF form. This is the form you use to renew by mail. To renew by mail, you click on the link you find in Google, and this brings up the PDF form. You then click on Highlight Existing Fields, so the form will highlight the fields that need to be filled in. You could also just print the form and mail it, but it's easy to highlight the existing fields, type in your information, and then print the form, and it's nicely typed and easy to read. You can also save the form if you type it online, and that way you have a copy saved without having to make a copy. Once you've filled out the form, print the form and keep a copy for your records. Sign and date the form and make a check payable to the United States Treasury for $30. The instructions for filling out a printed form or a form that you use to renew by mail are the same as the instructions that follow for filling out the form online. To renew online, first you find the form. You have to go to pay.gov and enter 8554 in the Search Public Forms box. This will bring up a list of 2 forms. Use the first one. Do not use the second one because that one's for enrolled retirement plan agents. The first section of the Form 8554 includes some instructions. There is a box that you can check if you passed the special enrollment exam since your last renewal. Most people should not check this box because most people do not elect to retake the C after they're enrolled agents. This box does not apply to you if this is your first renewal. Now we'll review Part 1 of the form, Enrollment Status. Most likely you should check the first box, I want approval for active enrolled agent status. And also check the yes or no question about suspension or disbarment. You could check the I want approval to remain or be placed into inactive retirement status, but we don't recommend that. Some people think that by checking the inactive retirement status they can avoid taking CPE, And while that's true, you can avoid taking CPE for the current period. When you reactivate your status, you'll have to take a full 72 hours of CPE at that time. Next, fill in the CPE hours earned by year. You enter the CPE for the tax courses on the first line and the CPE for the ethics courses on the second line. You don't include the ethics hours in the first line. If you're in your initial enrollment period, in other words, you just recently received your enrolled agent license within the last 3 years, then you need to calculate the CPE for each year of your cycle and put it in the appropriate column. We have more information on the initial enrollment period on our website, fundcpe.com. In Part 2 of Form 8554, you enter your identifying information. Enter the last 4 digits of your Social Security number, or if you do not have a Social Security number, check the box. Your enrollment number is your enrolled agent license number. Enter your full legal name, your current address. Keep in mind that you should notify the Office of Practitioner Enrollment of any address changes during your enrollment cycle. Enter your city, use the drop-down box to enter your state, postal code, and then there's another drop-down box with an arrow to enter your country. Your email address should be an email address that you can check because they will send you an automated confirmation of receipt of both your payment and your application. Enter any CAF numbers and EIN numbers. If you have more than the space allows, you should fax in the additional numbers separately. What is a CAF number? A CAF number is issued when a tax practitioner files either a Form 2848 Power of Attorney or a Form 8821 Tax Information Authorization Form. The CAF number is a file that keeps track of these authorizations. Continuing with Part 2 of the renewal form, answer questions 7 through 10. If you answer yes to any of these questions, you should add supporting detail on page 2 of the form. If you're a CPA or an attorney, enter the state or states in which you're licensed in, and if you are a registered tax return preparer, click on the radio button. In Part 3 of the renewal application, click the box that states that under penalties of perjury, you declare that this application is true, correct, and complete. You don't need to enter a signature. Your name and date will be automatically filled in. Enter your PTIN number, which is the letter P followed by 8 numbers. All enrolled agents are required to have a PTIN number. If you answered yes to questions 7, 8, 9, or 10, click on the Page 2 button and add the supporting details. Otherwise, click on Print Preview and then print and/or save a copy to your computer. After reviewing the printed copy, click Submit Data. The Save form is the picture of the diskette, so you may have to move your mouse over the bottom of the form to make this menu appear. Click on the printer icon to print the form. After you submit the form, you will be taken to the payment screen, and you have two options. Option 1, you enter your bank account information and your bank account will be drafted for the $30 renewal fee. Option 2 is to pay via, they call it plastic card, I call it a credit card, and you just simply enter your credit card information. What happens after you submit the payment? You will receive an immediate email confirmation that the renewal form and payment was received. Of course, you should keep this email and possibly print it out in case there are any issues with your renewal. Your EA card is mailed to you after your renewal is processed. You should receive your new card by April 1st, but there have been some delays of up to 90 days in the past few years. Before you close the file on your EA renewal, make sure that you have a file that you keep for your renewals. This file should include copies of your certificates of completion for your CPE, and I usually recommend that people make a list of the courses and hours by the date completed. Keep the confirmation of payment of renewal fee and a copy of your renewal form. I suggest stapling all of the above together so there's a complete grouping of the renewal documents for each renewal period. You are required to keep copies of your certificates of completion for 4 years after your renewal, so that could mean that you keep your certificates for a total of 7 years. The PTIN, Preparer Tax Identification Number, is renewed separately from your EA license. All EAs are currently required to have PTINs. PTINs are renewed by December 31st, and they must be renewed every year. Renewals for PTINs can be made online or on paper using the form W-12. Go to www.irs.gov/PTIN to process your renewal. Questions? Feel free to call Fund CPE if you have any questions about your renewal or EA CPE. We can also discuss the initial enrollment period and the related requirements. Our number is 877-738-6273.